Twice a year, the ProjectMe team over here, we do a deep dive analysis on content marketing, not just my content, but how content is performing as a whole. We look at trends, we look at conversions, we look at visuals, we look at wording, we look at context. I'm talking deep psychological dive on any form of visual or written digital marketing messaging. What is working? What's no longer working? What are the shifts? Now, what I'm most interested in and what I want to remind you of is the conversion metric that matters is cash. Now, the other conversion metric that's equally as important is visibility. If people don't know you exist, they don't know to buy your products. But some of you have great visibility. You get a lot of views on your stuff. You might even get a lot of engagement on your stuff, but people aren't buying your stuff. Or you have a lot of people open your emails, but the conversion on your emails is crap. You have to have both paired together. And I'm going to break down these mind blowing findings in this episode for you so you can make these tweaks and implement them immediately into your business without it costing you one single dime of more of an investment in order to get that coin in so you can have a rich bitch summer, baby. If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. As I'm recording this, it's very busy here in the beach scene. Okay. Summer has hit. The people have come out. I live somewhere where people fly from all over the world to visit, and the people watching here is pristine. It is so pristine that I shared on a TikTok live. And yes, I do go live on TikTok. It's very rare. So if you manifest seeing me live on TikTok, you want to make sure you stay because the shows is really good. I'm at Project Me with Tiffany on TikTok as well. So I'm the same at Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany. You want to make sure you're following me on both, completely different sets of content. Anyway, so I have a chair that I call the cuddler. The whole point of this chair and this vibe setup, and the people who attended my 2-day live mastermind event last year got to experience the cuddler and know what I'm talking about. It is all set up truly for people watching. This is the game of the introvert. I wanted to also have a beach house, a vacation house, a luxuriating house, a podcast content house where I could be inside, yet feel like I'm outside, smell the sea, hear the waves, watch the ocean, even get a tan if I want, while staying indoors, watching the people. So I can isolate, but feel like I'm among everyone. My fellow empaths and introverts, I know you're like, that sounds amazing and ideal. And it absolutely is. I just want to talk about a trend really quick. And no, this is not on topic. And that's fine. I think it's this important because I keep seeing it walking by. So if you've been listening to my show for a long time, shout out my OG listeners. Thank you so much. And all of my new listeners that are making the show top 5 in 57 countries. I'm beyond humbled and thrilled that you guys love the show that much. So I used to talk about in summers past the trend that I call the visible, I'm sorry, it is the vag cleavage. That was the trend. I would say it started 20 end of 2021, definitely heavy on the vag cleavage. What is vag cleavage? It's kind of like a side boob but for a vag. That was the vibe here in Los Angeles. It was everywhere. You couldn't unsee it, and you really had a hard time buying a bikini that didn't involve it. Now, someone like me, where I feel like I have a wide vagina, like I don't feel like I have a little boop-de boop, tiny little thing. It's like, does someone really need to see an exterior portion of my vaginal? Is that your labia? Like my lips? Like, is that necessary? So I've seen that go away a little bit. We're not seeing as much vag cleavage. This is a very important news report from the beach here. So what we are seeing though is visible camel toe. I noticed this starting to happen in the winter months in my yoga classes with all the different sets from Aloe and Lululemon and how they were structuring the pants. And you can just see everything and at all times. And I don't know how I feel about it. You can't not look at it. And then, but you don't want to look at it. Well, this has come to bathing suit season. Now it's the visible camel toe. We used to try to avoid camel toe. Like I didn't want to have camel toe. Like I was very cognizant and aware of the toe at the gym, and you would kind of pull your pants down or not even wear, like, because a lot of those, like, remember the, like, they're coming back in, but like the low rider jeans, like the super low, like rider, like yoga pants, those heavily caused that situation, especially if you were like gained an extra couple pounds. We didn't like it. Well, it's a vibe now, it's a thing, and I'm curious how you feel about it. So let me know these things. These are the things we talk about in my DM. So you can DM me at Project Me with Tiffany. You can always reply to any of our emails. We read all the emails. We can't reply to all of them, obviously, but we do read all of them. And in perfect cued timing, my posse members know this. I don't know if you guys can hear it. The ice cream truck literally just came by during that perfect timing. I know the song by heart. Every time I'm teaching live in the posse, my Project Me Posse business coaching membership every week, the fucking ice cream truck comes by and it's hysterical. And where I'm at on the beach is like a prime hotspot. So the dude parks the truck there, and for like 25 minutes, I have to block out the ice cream truck in order to be teaching. I'm like, I've mastered how to do it at this point. There is a summer special going on in the posse. There are 7 spots left as of the time of the recording. So you get the annual member option, then you get 2 months for free, which makes it like $2.22 a day or even less to be in the posse. Plus, you get my Nail Your Niche masterclass training, which people paid well over $500 to attend. Plus, you get my Instagram bio optimizer so that you can have thousands and thousands of the right qualified clients being able to discover your page by what I'm teaching in there. And I even give like visual examples of all of that. And if you're watching here on Project Me TV on YouTube, I am showing my content creation made easy course bundle that comes with a full workbook. It comes with video modules. It comes with my exact content planner that I use, my fill in the blank post template. Those of you guys who remember Mad Libs, picture Mad Libs. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. That's worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and you get that for free right now. Go to projectmewithtiffany.com/Project Me Posse. Swipe up. That link's in the show notes. It's also in the description on YouTube. It's in my link in bio on Instagram and TikTok at Project Me with Tiffany. Don't wait on that. Let me just tell you quickly, because it goes with today's episode, what I'm going to teach you I'm giving you information. I'm going to give you examples how to implement that information. But to really go deeper on this content marketing stuff to where you're really getting conversions and profits and sales consistently, whether you're actively like working or not, your pieces of content, whether it's email, whether it's a video, whether it's a static post, whether it's a carousel, those should be little salespeople working for you all the time, 24/7. You have thousands and thousands and thousands that have built up out there over time. I still make thousands of dollars over TikTok videos that were done a month ago. I still get a ton of new listeners for the podcast from pins on Pinterest from a year ago. When it is done right, it allows you to make more and work less. So let me give you some examples of the topics inside of the posse for those of you guys who are like, oh, I've done memberships before and I just felt like lost in the crowd and it was overwhelming as too much information. I know what's out there. I've joined memberships and I created mine different. It is capped at a certain size to keep this intimate. That's why we only have new member spots for so long and then they're full. So if you go to the page and it says it's full, then you're going to have to check back, every week or so to see if there's a new member spot that opens. So I just taught in the posse how to write content specifically to attract high level clients for high ticket offers. It's a different type of content technique for high ticket offers, meaning offers that are $5,000, $10,000, $30,000, $40,000 offers. And then just this last Friday, I want to be able to read the title to you. I taught content that connects while creating a consistent cash flow. So 3 tweaks you can make to your content to increase sales, how to re-energize an account that seems stuck in Slowville. So then there's also the abundance and manifestation stuff that I know you guys who discovered me on TikTok are obsessed with. And we get tons of messages of how it absolutely works. I love when you guys are shocked when my shit works. Like, why would I share anything that didn't work? It's so funny. But let me give you an example of this. My personal and private subconscious mindset and energy coach, Brenda Johnston, she taught in the posse, which is incredibly generous of her. And she taught using the power of your subconscious mind and energy to increase the flow of clients and cash into your business. Then before that, we had Gretchen Seck in, and she taught how to brand, build, and sell a successful online product line. So how to actually make products as an additional revenue stream for your business from scratch. And I could go on and on, heat up your profits, transformative strategies to boost summer sales. There is a membership vault of over 300 prior live trainings that are all categorized for you. And then you get the weekly live trainings. And what I think is most special truly about the posse, besides the results that people get, is it's so raw and honest, because I'm so raw and honest. It allows people to be able to ask their real questions without judgment and truly ask for support and get support from one another without feeling like you're going to be judged or you're an idiot. There's no posturing, like none of that. And it's highly monitored and there's no room for any bullshit from anybody in there. It's just a really special place. So I want you to go in. The annual option is your move. Like that's the true money move. But for my major commitment phobes, there is the month-to-month option. And obviously you pay a little more. That's $3.33 a day. And you don't get the Nail Your Niche Masterclass or the Instagram bio optimizer with that one. That's why I'm telling you to do the annual option when you go to that page. So let's get into the tea of what's happened with my social team's mid-year review. And I wanted to record our meeting so that you guys could hear behind the scenes. But then when we were doing it and started to record it, I realized it was so customized to me. And I wanted to make sure that the nuggets in there and the direct income generating actions in there, it could be applied no matter what type of business you had. And in what we were doing, it was really more so geared to my specific business. So I'm pulling the nuggets out of there. There is an analogy, and I shared this in the posse first, and people were shooketh over it. I thought it was amazing, but I was like, some of my analogies don't really land. And I was like, okay, you guys, let me know if this lands. And I actually was live on TikTok at the same time. And everyone was like, oh my God, that's genius. I totally get it. So I'm going to share that with you guys. The first thing that I need you to make, the tweak you need to make, is less on just sharing information with your people. I need you to share how to implement and apply that information so that they can start getting results. So let me give an example, like how-to content, 5 tips to decrease anxiety, how to manifest a relationship into your reality. That's very interesting information, okay? But like that isn't working like it used to. And we tested this by doing infographics. We tested this with face to camera video. So we tested this in a variety of formats and emails, et cetera, just to see like, oh, maybe it will work in a certain format. Maybe it won't work in another. So we really geeked out on this stuff. And you listening to the podcast, you being in the posse, you being in my programs, one of the biggest values that you get from it is we're on top of all this shit. And I'm behind the scenes of multi-billion and trillion-dollar brands as a marketing consultant. I teach you how to apply it to your small business and tell you what's worth doing, what's a waste of your time, what to prioritize so you don't lose your mind, because we can't do all the things. And there's nothing more than I hate when someone tells you, oh, you need to do this and you need to do this, and this. And you're like, oh my God, I'm already exhausted. I already feel like I'm doing so much. And now I just have to do more. No, what I'm sharing with you today is these are the things you're prioritizing, okay, when it comes to content. And you're just making a shift. I'm not telling you to do anymore, okay? I'm telling you to reallocate. So instead of like that how-to stuff, I want you to use things like scenario based descriptions, right? Like you can use yourself as an example. You can use a client as an example. You can use a friend as an example. It doesn't have to be someone who's paid you for it to be a testament to something working, okay? So you could say in the 5 tips to reduce daily anxiety, you could say, Reese, in the last 2 months, I have been testing different things on myself and with a couple of clients of mine and even a few friends on what really ends up helping the most when it comes to alleviating like daily anxiety as, someone who's a working mom, whatever your niche is, right? And there are 5 main things that I feel has gotten the most potent results for people. And here's what they are. Like, here's what you need to do, right? Here's what you need to do. It's like, cut your coffee. This is from my ass. From my ass. Cut your coffee down. I'm never going to tell you to stop coffee if like that's a true thing that you love. But, cut your coffee down, at least to like, I'm making this up, but like 10, 12 ounces a day. And then I want you to drink high quality, electrolyte water the rest of the day, specifically X many ounces. Put your temperature down at night in your house to 67 degrees and take a cool shower before bed. So you're giving people clear directives. You're giving them a prescription. Here's what people want. I do medical marketing in my other business and my agency that I've had for 16 years now. So that's why I use a lot of medical and health examples, which I do think land with you guys. No one, and this is proven, no one wants to go to a doctor or practitioner and leave without a fucking prescription, whether it is a prescription for supplements, whether it's a prescription for drugs, whether it's a prescription to go to a physio, okay? You want to feel like you've gotten something in order to go, oh, this was worth my time. I had a good patient experience, etc. or it's a prescription even to like get a test done or a procedure done, right? It's no different than when someone is coming to you for your expertise, especially as a service-based business. And I'm going to say something about my product-based business people too. Okay. So don't think this shit doesn't apply to you. I love when I start teaching this stuff and giving this info, and then there's someone that always goes, but I sell jewelry, but I sell hair accessories, but I sell, I do lash extensions, and their brain automatically goes that this doesn't apply. I'm telling you right now, it applies. I've worked with people in over 79 different industries, some wild shit. It works in every single industry. That's why this stuff is such gold. People want something to do. Why do you think when you go to a hairstylist, like the ones that are good will be like, hey, you really need to use this clarifying shampoo once a week. And then you can either they give you their best recommendation, or if they're great at business, you buy it from them and they get a cut of it. And maybe they tell you something else, like I have a weave, right? So it's like, I don't follow this though. Brittany, if you're listening, I just outed myself. Like instead at night, like I'm supposed to be wearing like one of those silk bonnets on my head. I can't even look at myself in it. And if you're watching right now on ProjectME TV, I already look crazy right now. It just takes me to another level of crazy where like I'm willing to like walk Chubbs looking mostly homeless, but this would take me to a crazy level. So I've not found a silk hair bonnet that like stays on, but if I was given that to do, my interaction, that would feel good to me. People want to know, what do I need to do in order to make my hair grow, in order to preserve my weave, in order for my lash extensions to stay longer, in order for my tattoo to not fade, in order for me to get more cash and sales in my business, in order for my manifestations to be ignited, in order for me to wake up feeling a sense of calm instead of a sense of anxiousness and panic, in order for me to feel less puffy and help me lose weight faster and gain muscle faster, in order for me to be able to get the best price on a house. I'm just rattling off examples, but people want to know what they can do and not some random busy work, like some good shit. And some of you are afraid to do that in your content because then you go, but if I give that away, then why would they buy my course? Why would they come hire me? Why would they do my thing? Because I've already given it away. Well, you've not given it all away. And by the way, look at all I share on here. You binge my podcast and you binge all of my content. I mean, and you binge it with intention and take notes. Without a doubt, you will have at minimum a 10K a month business, without a doubt. Okay. If not more. But the reality is most of us aren't disciplined enough to do that. We have a lot of mindset stuff and other things that come up. We want someone to coach us through it. Look, the Olympics is going on, right? We're watching the prep. They don't have one coach. These people have mindset coaches. They have energy coaches. They have physical therapists. They have tumbling coaches, dancing coaches, stretching coaches. You freaking name it. They've got it. And by the way, unless these people are like on like the cover of magazines, a lot of these people are like, and they have some sponsors. They're not making much money. And they're being open about it on TikTok, especially, but they're investing in. How do you think they got to the Olympics? And they got to the Olympics because of investing and in doing all of that and following through and taking the actions. But can you imagine if those coaches are like, and you need to do these 15 things in the morning and these 20 things at noon and these 30 things at night? No one can reasonably do that. And you're hiring someone to keep you accountable, to customize it, to have a group community. I mean, the reason why my 2-day in-person mastermind experience sold out last year in less than 6 days is, one, I only do it once a year. Two, tons of raving testimonials of people from all different backgrounds that hands down said it was the best investment they ever made, not just in their business, but for their own personal growth. It's October 1st and 2nd. It's here in Manhattan Beach, California, one of the most abundant and most beautiful beaches in the entire world. It's like the perfect weather time of year. We don't even have fucking bugs here. I mean, there's some flies, and they're not like biting flies. There's like some random beach flies, and that's it. There's not mosquitoes. I don't have any screens on the windows. You get to be in the open air in an abundant setting and learn directly from the ProjectME dream team. I'm bringing in my subconscious mindset coach. We have my somatic and breath work and sound therapist coming. We're having a live DJ. We are going to be teaching you exactly how to craft your offers so they're so irresistible that people can't not buy them, and truly the art of content creation that makes major coin. And it's being done all while healing your money wounds and shifting your belief system. And what happens for people after this, people have the biggest launches that they've ever had, the biggest breakthroughs. $1 million ideas have come out of this. Their businesses felt fun again. They felt free. They didn't feel alone anymore. They have a synergy. Then the connections people make with one another. People have started podcasts together. People have done viral content together. I can go on and on and on. And we are about to open registration for this. If you're a private client of mine, you get first dibs. So 5 of the spots are already gone. And then if you're in my Posse membership, you get the second access to those. The way to get, I guess you could call it third access, is to be on my VIP Secret Posse Weekly Digest free email list. And that's by going to projectmewithtiffany.com/secret posse. That's in the show notes and in the description here on YouTube. Plus, you want that anyway. That's all exclusive, unique content, and it's all me. Like, you're getting like straight up legit like letters from me with some crazy shit and shit that really works. So you want in on this, make sure if you're not on that list, it ain't happening for you unless you're in the Posse or you're a private client of mine. And what we're doing is the first 11 spots, you're getting it at $1,000 off. And then it's going to go to its full price. Okay. And we're going to have a page with all the information on it. The page isn't done yet because if you've been watching my Instagram stories, I've been luxuriating, traipsing through Europe for several weeks. And so I just need to put some of the finishing touches on it. And then we will be releasing it soon via email. Okay. Because I know a lot of you guys have been asking about it. All right. Let's get into the second thing. People love numbers. People love facts and stats more than ever. Any of the content that we've done in my agency for dozens and dozens and dozens of accounts we run, and my own stuff and my clients' stuff, is there's so much bullshit that's out there in every industry. I know you guys see it. People doing the fantasy marketing stuff, people saying they do one thing and it's another. People, the fake follower thing, the fake engagement thing is still a game. There are a lot of people using various apps, making it look like they're traveling in exotic places and they're not even there. That's why I take mostly all video and I share it in my Instagram and Facebook stories, because I want you guys to see, like, I'm really there. I'm not making it up. Like, I really live in a multi-million-dollar beach house. Like, I want you guys to see that so that your brain knows it's legit, but also knows like this is actually really possible. But numbers can also be used through research. So just like we see in the medical world, right? There's various medical studies, health studies. A lot of universities have studied even the most wild stuff you can imagine has been studied. A lot of consumer packaged goods companies have studied things in order to best support their product, right? So totally from my ass. From my ass. I love that I said that twice already in this episode. for example, like breast implants. They'll have a study on that particular brand of breast implants, that particular lotion, right? Even toothpaste. So there are lots of studies in the mental health world. There's a lot of studies on somatic healing. There's a lot of world-renowned psychologists and doctors and authors. You can use that published data to support what you're saying to your people and your content. Your shit does not need to be, like you came up with a theory. Like I had some people ask me about, my childhood money imprint theory, that 4-part series that I just ran that was 5 years in the making. They're like, oh my God, but like, I don't have anything like that. And I was like, well, you don't have to have something like that. Like I've been doing this stuff for a long time, right? Like you don't have to have something that in depth in order for you to make that connection with your ideal client. But you do need to have supporting data and source data. As a former TV newscaster, as a journalist, I mean, we know the news has gone real downhill. Okay. But like if you're doing ethical journalism, you have to cite multiple sources and cross-reference these sources and vet these sources in order to be able to use them to have the supporting data to share, to share both sides of an article. I need you to be doing that in your content. Does this have to be every single piece of content? No. But let's say you are someone who helps people, I don't know, heal trauma that's being stored in their body. Well, you need to be researching different sort of somatic therapies, different case studies, and you cite the case study. You're not pretending for it to be yours. You're actually citing it, like in Psychology Today, da 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 da, or Oxford University did a study of 5,000 people. That makes people go, wow, okay, this is real. This is a real thing. This isn't just from this person's ass. Like this is something that's concrete that can help me. And use ChatGPT as well. Like you can use AI to help you do the research and not just Google. I just do want to warn you though, make sure it's coming from a credible source. Even if it's like numbers, you're like, oh my God, I love what these numbers say. Like this is an amazing study, but like make sure it's a credible source. This isn't coming from some like really obscure publication that no one has heard from. Like make sure it's coming from like Forbes magazine, Harvard University. Like make sure it's coming from a credible source. Like do your job, because if you just put something up there and it's from some weird obscure publication or something no one's heard from, that's not really going to help you. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So goes to my next point. Since so many people are full of shit, a lot of people have been bullshitted. If a lot of your ideal clients are like mine, who are a little jaded, you know, and jaded doesn't mean you're not like a positive person or even a happy person, but you're jaded because you grew up in a dysfunctional household. You're jaded because you were married to a fucking narcissist. You're jaded because you've been scammed by a coach. You're jaded because you've been knocked around by life. You've been bullshitted on things. I mean, because like attracts like. So I can be a little jaded, a little skeptical. Like, you need to give me some fucking proof. Like, I need to vet your ass. And I know you guys do it with me. And I respect that. I mean, I can't tell you how many people before they decide to like apply to work with me privately or even like take a bigger jump to work with me in a more in-depth way, like coming to my 2-day mastermind event. I mean, you binge my videos, you binge listen to my podcast. So here's psychologically what people do. And again, we have studied this in depth. And you can nod your head and go, that's true. When I really think about it, that's what I do prior to giving someone my time, energy, and money. Now, it can be someone who's referred. Like I have friends where I know they're solid vetters, and then people come to me all the time because they know I vet the fuck out of people. Not to say that we're not all human and we can be wrong, especially if someone's like a sociopath or narcissist, because they can really fool people. But aside from those people, you have a friend that says to you, oh my God, like you need to check out this coach TIFF. Like she's refreshing. She's solid. She's clearly mentally unwell, but she knows it. And she, she knows her shit. Like you definitely, you definitely want to listen to her. You're likely going to listen, right? So we love referrals. Like that's ideal. We want to get referrals. And then you already have, there's a built-in like credibility and trust factor. But we can't just be reliant on referrals. That's very dangerous, especially if you want to be making in the millions, in the high hundreds of thousands. You want to be getting sales all through the night and a lot of passive income on things like that. You've got to have people converting from strangers into paying clients rather quickly. So last year's 2-day live event, 5 of the people that were there bought the remaining tickets that we had because it sold out in 6 days, the remaining tickets from one TikTok video of mine. And the video wasn't like mega viral. I think the video probably, well, now it's at like probably 200,000, but I think it was at like 57,000. But it was the topic of my video, but it was also the energy, right? Energy can't be faked. They could tell my sincerity. They could hear and see and feel my grounded competence in the area of my expertise. I don't pretend to be an expert in everything. In fact, I'm not great at a lot of things, but the shit I'm great at, I'm your gal, okay? But don't come to me for relationship coaching. That's Don't come to me for that. And yeah, definitely not. Or gut health, considering I have extreme gas still from coming back from Europe. Thank you so much. All right. So what I want you to do is show the receipts. Now, recently I hope it's in my DM still because it was excellent. And people are so shocked when I reply to people in my DMs. I feel like I just responded to her today. I always love how surprised you are when I reply to your DMs. It is actually me that's doing it. I can't guarantee I can reply to everyone at this point because they get crazy, but truly, a majority of them I do reply to. You know why? Because that's good business and because I give a shit. Okay. So there you go. And that's an extra pro tip for today. Like, don't be using a chatbot to reply to your people or where it has an out of office reply in your DMs. Not approved by me, if ever. No, thank you. So I got asked this question when I was in Europe, and I think I replied to her my like 4th April spritz in, which means she got a really good answer. She said, I listened to an episode, and these are the questions I genuinely do answer is when someone has a follow-up question to an episode, but like isn't looking for like picking your brain free coaching. I can tell if it's genuine. And she said, you talk about showing the receipts a lot. And I see in your Instagram stories, like you show your receipts, like you literally have a highlight in your Instagram with your receipts. And she's like, but what if you don't have like those cash money receipts that are that impressive yet? Like, what are you supposed to show? And I thought it was an excellent question. When I say receipts, I don't just mean cash. Receipts is also in how you're living your life, how you feel, your state of mind, how you wake up in the morning now. It could be how you look in your body, how you feel in your body, how your stomach feels, how you respond in relationships, how you act in stress, how you don't people please anymore. These are your receipts. So you have to actually show and tell a before and after. It's not just reserved for like weight loss. You do I once did this and now I do this and you're showing people you're your own best testimonial that you are evidence that you went from point A to point C. It doesn't even have to be from A to T, right? We're all a work in progress. We don't need to go there. That's some bullshit your ego will be telling you. And other receipts are you using examples of people, friends, and family who you've helped out, even if it's for free. It's still a testament in what you do. That's why, at least in the US, when you go to get like an apartment or even commercial real estate, and still in a lot of jobs, they want personal references, right? So it's a personal testament to what you do. You're still doing the work. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to be using that stuff, but I need you to be more detailed. I need you to paint the scenario. It can't just be like vague, like, I used to wake up with so much anxiety and now I wake up feeling clear and happy. That's not sticky enough. That's not grabby enough. Someone's just going to go, okay, like that's nice. It might even read as it's too good to be true. I need you to be more detailed. Exactly what happened when you would wake up in the morning. Be more specific. Exactly how does it work now, even when even when you didn't sleep well? Really paint a more detailed picture. The deeper you go, the dollars will flow. But as I said in last Friday's posse training, and this is something, a version that my news director, when I worked for NBC, said to me, and we would get like our scripts back with like red Sharpie all over it, like terrible, rewrite this. And it'd be so stressful, but he was such a great teacher because it was lazy writing. Just to say, I feel confident now and I used to be insecure. What does that fucking mean? Even great writing coaches, right? Someone could say, and this is the example I used in the posse, someone could say, it was a beautiful spring morning when I met the man of my dreams. Okay, that's facts. That's okay. What's more grabby and polarizing? Saying that or saying it was one of those days where the sun is shining bright, but it's not too bright. And there's a slight breeze in the air with just enough coolness that you could be outside for hours and never have a drop of sweat. And there's a sweet fragrance in the air every time that breeze comes by of the eucalyptus flowers. And it's that perfect temperature that if every single day was this exact temperature and in this exact way, it would just be glorious and you want to soak in the entire day. And wouldn't you know, this was the day I met the man of my dreams. What is more? What gets you more? And I know your favorite books, your favorite content creators, your favorite podcasts, they do this. Okay. And you need to be doing this in your content. The catch is it requires you to not be mentally lazy or loafing or just slapping some shit together. You're going to have to take an extra minute or two to really dial in, to really feel. You're going to have to pause. This doesn't take an additional hour. Okay. It just takes an additional few minutes, but the payoff is giant. So if you take nothing out of this episode, it would be doing what I just said there, because what that does is it's emotionally provoking. So here's this thing. The emotionally provocative and potent and polarizing is trumping everything. I'm going to speak specifically just for length of time, and I don't want to overwhelm you with doing too many things. Even if you just made one of these shifts a week with what I'm telling you, you'll get great results. Okay. So, and you can thank me by one, joining the posse, by two, writing a written review of this show. You can do a written review on Apple Podcasts. That goes a long way. If you're a Spotify listener, you can tap the 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment, share the episode, make sure you subscribe. Okay. Sign up for my free Secret Posse Weekly Digest email so that you can make sure that you can get dibs, man, on that 2-day ProjectME in-person mastermind experience. It only happens once a year, but this will work. But don't feel like I have to do all the things. I have to do it all now and I have to do it all at once. That's just your ego lying to you. That is not true. In fact, I don't want you doing all this shit at once because I want you to do it with care and intention. Don't you deserve that? Don't you think your people you're serving deserve that? Don't you feel your brand and your business deserves that kind of high quality? Okay. So, we don't need to go so fast and furious. That leads to being frustrated, that leads to being fizzled out, that leads to burnout. Slow and steady is what builds lasting empires and brands. Okay. So this emotionally provoking, you need to, in your visuals, in your photos, in your videos, even if it's a face to camera and you are talking, I need you to evoke emotion. Every single type of a sale of everything, and no sales expert would disagree with me, is emotional, even if it's a need. I would say, even if you are starving at a beach and there's only some random, like, little stand that has street meat that you're highly suspect of, even that's an emotional buy, even though that's your only option. It's not your only option. You could choose to not eat, right? So everything is an emotional purchase, even stuff that, like, even tires are an emotional purchase. Okay. And I have a pretty big tire company as a client. And I'm telling you, when we applied my emotional based sales techniques to their content, they had an 867% surge in sales consistently over time. Okay, not just like one hot month. And I know that stat because I just did a presentation as a sales trainer for a corporation, and I use that stat to make my point. Again, look what I just did. Stats and facts. People like numbers, people like hearing that proof. Go watch and study my Instagram, Facebook stories. Okay. A lot of you just binge me on TikTok, or you just like watch my stuff in my Instagram feed. The stories are where I build even more intimacy. It's emotionally provoking, it's visually provoking. Even with my reels, for example, even with my videos that are B-roll with text on the screen, I'm not just like, oh, yeah, let's just take that random video of me like typing away or staring out of a window and using it. No, it's with fucking intention. What emotion am I trying to provoke in my viewer? What am I wanting them to feel? What am I wanting? Where am I wanting to touch them? This is why you see those famous commercials that they run like in the US Super Bowl, right? And like we talk about like the famous commercials of all time, they're emotionally provocative. Same with famous advertising campaigns for big businesses. You don't have to have a multi-million-dollar budget to do this. You get to do this with the power of having your damn phone and slowing the fuck down and using it, using your mind and creative bandwidth. You don't have to do this alone. I teach this in the posse. We are going to teach it to you at an in-depth level at my in-person mastermind with your own business, with camera in hand, with live examples. Like, you're going to walk away with a skill that is valued at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of an education, because you can make millions of dollars off that, whether that's doing it for another company or it's doing it to sell your own, gifts, strengths, talents, shares, and wares online. So I want to give a couple examples, but I right now for sure, because I'm sharing what's going on in Italy and behind the scenes. So, every single story slide you see, the order is strategic. The pacing is strategic. Whether I post a photo or video is strategic. It's all intentional to provoke emotion, to evoke emotion, to keep you, the viewer, interested and stimulated and really drawn in. Because if you don't do that, someone's going to scroll by. Someone's going to click off your page. Someone's going to move off to something else. And I've got to tell you, okay, as much as I get very pissed off at these fantasy marketers, these motherfuckers are very great at doing this. The reason why they're called fantasy marketers is they can't deliver, right? But then you end up buying the stuff. It's like those late night infomercials. Now, it's of integrity if they are using and being excellent at this marketing, and then their product or their service, of course, delivers. That's what we want here. Where it is gross is when they're amazing marketers and the product is shit. And all of you have bought a product before and probably even hired a service where someone did a great job talking, a great job selling, and then never delivered. Well, we're not going to do that. Okay. You wouldn't even be attracted to me if you were someone interested in doing that. But I've got to give these people credit, at least on the marketing side. They're great at doing it. They just aren't fulfilling it on the back end. But like where the expressions on my face, the questions that I'm asking in the polls, the what am I doing? What emotion am I doing? Like there is a video I just submitted for someone on my team in our folder for TikTok. And I purposely curated it and shot it for TikTok. And I'm literally staying in a palace. You guys are gonna shit. I was like, what is happening right now? I was not expecting this, but like literally, I thought it was marketing to say I was staying at a palace in Italy. No, like it really was a palace. Like, what the fuck? And the bed looks like a palace. And I went, you know what would be cool? Showing me in a robe jumping on the bed. What emotion is that evoking? Playfulness, freedom, lightness, abundance, having fun, delighting in life, right? Like not being so stiff and rigid and stressed. I am evoking the core desire of my ideal client, and it's sincere. I was really there, and I'm really that type of person who would jump on the bed in a robe in a $1,800 a night room. That's truly me. So and it draws people in. It's visually interesting. And people, when they want more of something and they want to feel more of something, they're going to be pulled in and want to learn your ways and want your product. I mean, that would work for, let's say someone had a bed linen line, had even a clothing line, and someone was doing that. And if in your brand essence was about playfulness and freedom and fun, ask yourself, what would visually depict this? What would visually show this, and do it? And I shot it myself on my damn iPhone. I don't even have the latest iPhone. I have like 3 generations ago of an iPhone. Okay. With probably a really dirty lens. Like I didn't have a photographer follow me around there. You can do this on your own. That's why this is the most powerful time than ever to make insane money online. And you don't have to go and hire some extravagant photographer, but you also can if that delights you. And I'm not saying that isn't something that's warranted at a certain point. I do this once or twice a year, very specifically, and I can do a whole nother episode on it, but we also are teaching that in my in-person mastermind. We are teaching how to strategically create content that will sell out your offers, just from like inception, from the creative brainstorming to executing it, whether you are doing it yourself or you're hiring someone to help you. And it's usually people's favorite part. Also, I mean, I gotta say, we do have a very epic beach party. I mean, it's the abundance cocktail hour. And we have, of course, non-alcoholic stuff too. It's not about like the drinking. You can't not feel rich as fuck with what we set up. Okay. Like it's impossible to actually not feel rich at this beach and with the accumulation of people and how we curate this. I mean, I'm just saying it is legit. So all the things are in the show notes. They're also in the description here on YouTube. Make sure that you make a move. If you want trainings like this, right, do the annual option in the Posse. So you get 2 months for free. You get my Nail Your Niche Masterclass training. You get my Instagram bio optimizer so people can actually find you. And an example of how well that optimizer works is my interview I did with Chef Ash. She has gotten on TV several times, celebrity clientele. She has 15 celebrity clients and professional athletes, and they all found her on Instagram because of her bio being optimized. And she only has 2,500 followers. Okay. And she got these people way back when she had like 500. and then grew from there because of the optimization. And I teach you that. That is a free Lux bonus you get for doing the year option. So it's a no-brainer. You get 2 months for free. It's going to keep your ass accountable. You know what to do. Make a move. If you love this episode, share it with someone, comment on YouTube, screenshot it, share it in your social media. Take 30 seconds and leave a damn written Apple podcast review of the show. This makes the show really grow, and it's showing your appreciation. And if you want reviews of your stuff and you want more testimonials and you want more people shouting out, you've got to check yourself first and go, when was the last time I did this for people who I find really helpful and for products and services I delight in? Okay, just saying. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.